Hello. This week's episode is the Rip van Winkle caper. Now, if you're not familiar with Rip van Winkle, it's a near mythological character from a story printed in the early 19th century about a man, Rip, who goes to sleep and wakes up 20 years later and have missed the American Revolution. This is not something that I come across. It's not something that I've heard a lot before, so I had to actually look that reference up. It's one of the strange episodes. It's sort of time travel, but not really. It's about the human condition and about greed. It's a really good episode. There are, of course, a few things I'd like to say. The coffin sequence when they're lying down and they have to check, the direction of the air vent and then count to 10 and then press the button. Why do they have to count? I mean, as long as the air vent is the right direction, why would they need to count? I don't see the reason for the count. It just makes very little sense to me. The whole waiting in a cave for 100 years is very much like Ash Williams in Ash Williams versus the Evil Dead, or the Army of Darkness, I should say, the Evil Dead 3 movie. And they disguise it really well, and nothing wears out except for the brakes on the car. It's remarkable how that would happen. I have no idea what kind of gas it is they're talking about, but their clothes would probably degrade just from exposure to whatever chemical it is. And if there's any microbes at all and they don't all go to sleep, then they would eat the body. So it's a bit of a sci-fi stretch. Now, they should be waking up in 2061, so, I mean, it's a few years yet until we could go meet them. But I did look at the numbers. So in 1961, gold was $35 an ounce. In 2015, it was $1,016 or so dollars an ounce. Inflation, of course, would eat up some of that. Inflation since then is like 740%. Now, if it's just the gold and you account for inflation, and count for inflation, you come to like $260 an ounce. So $1,000 an ounce is a lot of money. You still make 5 times your investment. So that's pretty cool. If, of course, gold still has a meaning then. So there's a bit of a stunt when one of the bad guys gets run over by a truck. It's neat enough. It's very easy to shoot. You just aim the car straight and then you force the perspective a bit and the actor goes, when he's, behind the car. So it works out. But it's nice. And then they start drinking out of the canteen. I really hope they found a spring somewhere to drink that from, because I didn't see it in the coffin. And if they stored water for 100 years in a metal canteen, that water is not serviceable anymore. No, not at all. It's toxic. Of course, you could leave the gold in the cave and walk, find help, and then come back. And that reminds me of the Treasure of the Sierra Madre by B. Traven, where he at length talks about the human condition of the avarice that gold creates, and how people become slightly insane and will just mistrust their fellow men because of gold fever. The very last line is the very last line about that we can manufacture gold now. I seem to recall having read that. I'm not sure if it's Arthur C. Clarke or if it's Ray Bradbury. I think it's one of those two. About a man working a diamond mine on Mars or Venus or something. And he finds out, and he has a nagging wife who says, don't make him enough money. And he's supposed to, and he sends her this massive diamond just as he learns that diamond can now be manufactured and are essentially worthless. Diamonds are essentially worthless anyway, but we make them now, so the industrial application is gone. You don't need them for anything other than jewelry, pretty much. The car in this episode is from Forbidden Planet, which is a movie that came out a few years before. I don't know where they got the car, but they modified a bit of it. That's a movie with Leslie Nielsen. So that's something. Check out Forbidden Planet, by the way. It's a really weird, old, great movie. And of course, Rod makes an ad in the outro when he's talking about the next week's episode. And it's not just an ad, it's a smoking ad for a brand of cigarettes that you just, you're supposed to just smoke because that's good for you. I can't imagine anyone trying to do that now. Next we're heading back to the present, without gold, unfortunately. And I will see you next week for the next episode. Take care now. Bye.